Hey baby, what's your moon sign? Hello lovelies and welcome to today's video. Today we will be talking about moon signs and the importance of the moon sign right now during the Aquarian age. So we just got out of the Piscean age. It makes sense that the moon sign may be just as important or more so, as well as the rising sign, which we will talk about next week. Now, I'm not a master of astrology. It's not my main focus. It's something that is a secondary thing that I kind of am into. And let's say hypothetically, if I were a college student, it would be one of my minors, for instance. Um, you're going to see a lot more astrological stuff being talked about. I'm going to talk about in the future the Aquarian age, so you understand a little more about what we're talking about. And I'm going to talk about indigo children because I am one, and it kind of relates to a lot of our empath things that we've talked about prior. Um, so to go back into the sun and moon signs, you look to your moon sign for an idea of our fears, our deepest, truest beliefs, a lot of the things that have affected us that we carry with us. Our moon sign will kind of show more of our emotional state. When we feel something more on the intuitive level, the psychic level, that's more of our moon sign reacting. Our true emotions are found in our moon sign, not our sun sign. So that's something that people should really, really think about. You really need to know both your sun and your moon, as well as your rising, which we'll get into next week. But these two are extremely important. And a lot of people just think, okay, yeah, I'm a Taurus, so everything that's Taurus is going to reflect me. But that's not the case. Because as I said, emotions, intuition, subconscious, already all moon based. Our sun, though, it is more about like our presence, like our human experience, what's right there in front of us. The moon is reserved for like the closest beings next to us, our spirituality, our deepest secrets, our deepest desires, all of that comes from the moon. While Taurus, like for me being a Taurus, as my sun sign, that's more of just like what's on the face, what people first come in contact with when they first meet me. But my truest being is in the moon. So how do they interact with each other? The moon sign can exaggerate our sun signs. It can have conflict. It can balance. It can work just perfectly together. There's a lot of ways in which they can work together. Um, for example, here I'll talk about from mine, for example. So I'm a Taurus sun, and I'm a lot more about like that would be more about like my being very into self control, very much about being practical and smart and intellectual, and it's a very masculine sign when you think about it. So it's perfect for an example as the sun. Very affectionate, very much about loyalty, very stubborn, rigid, bad with change, tends to get stuck in a rut and we can't change our opinions. Well, my Capricorn moon needs to feel useful and productive, so that works well with that. As well as the competent and collected works well with that. But it's also a very emotional sign beneath the surface, so it's perfect for being the moon sign again because it's emotional based. The emotions are like churning and turning beneath the surface, just trying to boil. Like the Capricorn moon will want realistic goals and clear boundaries set, but they're so worried about security and safety and planning ahead and making sure that they're a people pleaser that sometimes those boundaries aren't set. We do not deal well with messy emotions and are frightened by them. We get mood swings. There's a lot of darkness. There's a lot of like depression. We're very ambitious, strong-willed. So what I've noticed with having these two in combination, now that I really know the difference or know about my moon sign a little more since I've started going more into it, the things that they're cooperating together, for example, is wanting knowledge, being ambitious, the Taurus being stubborn, and the Capricorn being very ambitious. That's working very well together. So like I'm very career oriented, and when I put my mind to something, I want to be the best. I need to be the I'll work and work and work till I get there. But with having Capricorn in my moon, I have problems with depression, illness, emotions, and if I don't feel like I'm getting the respect that I deserve, I go into a hermit mode and go into an extremely emotional state with anger attached and like anxiety, depression, and resentment. And with me having past traumas, that makes a lot of sense as well. I mean, I could go a lot more in depth just about mine, but I'm just giving you a quick idea of how they work together. And then with the Taurus being so stubborn, if it's not working well, if something's not working out the way that I planned and hoped, and I'm not getting the loyalty I deserve in return, and the Capricorn wants affection and respect and love and wants trust, and that's not happening, that's going to put me into full-blown emotional state, and I get into severe depression. And that pretty much is my life, to a T. So, like I said, there's a lot more details to it, but that's just like the basic, vague idea of mine, for example, to give you an idea. So, moving on. With the moon sign right now, you, like, as I just said, it really helped to explain to me a lot of things that I wasn't really grasping from my just knowing I'm a Taurus. Like, why is this happening? I know I'm an empath, I know I'm an indigo child, but there are certain things that a Taurus wouldn't behave this way. And then, which we'll talk about next week, is our rising sign. My rising sign is Cancer, so that just adds to it even more, as we'll talk about, because I'm going to, of course, use it as an example. Going back to the original idea, now that you have an example, the masculinity or the sun sign has been predominant for about 5,000 years now. The Piscean age and the age prior were all very based on that. But now that the tides have shifted and feminine energy has become more extreme and expanding across the planet and the universe and the way in which things are unfolding, the moon sign is much more important. So my Capricorn moon, which is true, I've noticed since about 2012, once, like the end of 2012, 2013, once we switched into Aquarian age, those qualities of the Capricorn moon have been showing a lot more than my Taurus sun. Uh, so I really believe it's true when some of these astrologists are saying that we should be focusing more on our moon sign than our sun sign. But for the benefit of all of you, just at least focus on both of them equally balanced. So back to the explanation as to why it may be more important. Feminine essence is becoming more important than masculine essence. And we're seeing that in a lot of ways. We're seeing that societally. And when we're talking about masculine and feminine, we're talking about what society deems that those things. So we're now more into a society where the capitalism, the materialism, the world of logic, the world of Christianity, all of that is no longer ideal. People are more emotion based. People are getting more into various spiritualities, such as various types of paganism, whether it be Wicca or just like old Celtic Druidism or New Age Buddhism, whatever. People are starting to go back to the old ways that came before this whole transition. Your feminine essence and emotional being is not being represented by our sun sign. So sometimes you could be like, okay, my horoscope was so off. Well, why don't you go and look and see what it's saying about your moon sign, and see if that's a little more on. Because like I said before, our sun sign is more of like what we put out there, like our front, like our face, right? Well, the moon is our like inner being, okay? So also the cool thing about the moon sign is that it's going through cycles, and these cycles help us to understand where our path is unfolding for ourselves, and like in like how do I explain this? It helps. That's more of like when we're talking about our life plan and our life path, what we should be doing is watching where our moon sign, like for instance Capricorn, where is it right now in the astrological crazy world right now? How is it positioned? How is it developing right now? Because that, or how is it being affected by this planet or this, things of that nature, which would mean me getting a lot more deeper into and talking about astrology, but I don't want to do that right now because I want to keep this somewhat short. So really, our moon sign helps a little more with our direction and how our emotional state is. A good thing to do is on the new moon of your sign. So, for instance, when the next Capricorn new moon occurs, I do a ritual and I put out there my intentions for the next moon cycles, until the full moon is in Capricorn, and put those intentions out there and hope that those intentions, desires, and plans can happen. And then on the full moon of the Capricorn, I can look back and see if any of that has happened, what I need to reanalyze, change, work on, and do another ritual and celebrate. So, that's pretty much all I have to say. I know I'm kind of not as bubbly as usual, but again, I'm a little out of it. Empath shut down, as we've talked about before. The last thing I'll say as another example is when a Taurus sun is with a Capricorn moon, they'll be more sensitive and creative security that will be provided by being practical and hardworking and have loyal relationships. So what I want all of you to do is find out what your moon sign is, which is very easy to do. You can go to basically any astrology chart site or even just look up moon sign and you type in your birthday, the time you were born, where you were born, and you can find your moon sign, and you can actually find your whole astrological chart. And knowing more in depth about where you are in each house, where you are in each position, whatever, it's really going to help you. So finding your moon sign, focus on your moon sign, and start following where your moon sign is in this cycle of things astrologically. Because right now, as a lot of astrologists are saying, it may be more important altogether than your sun sign. But at the very least, it's as equally as important as your sun sign, because that's your inner emotional subconscious being. And we have to have the balance of the feminine and masculine, so we need to be working on both and focusing on that. And like I said, the great thing about the moon sign is you can kind of see how it's changing and evolving throughout the year, and it also kind of tells you like it what's the correct word? I'm kind of it helps to get you ready, prepared for what emotional state you might be in. Just like we talk about Mercury retrograde and the warnings and what we need to do, if you follow your moon sign and where that is planetarily and everything, you'll be more prepared for what's about to come for you emotionally. So that's it. Moon sign's important. Find it out. As usual, please like, share, subscribe. I will be putting below the links to my Facebook page, which I'm having to sell on my bath bombs right now because I had to make a big bulk order, and there's some left, so there's a big deal on those. In the next month, I'm going to be slowly releasing potion oils that are made with magic that will strengthen our zodiac signs. I'm not going to release all 12 at once. I'll be slowly doing it in order, like starting with Aries and going on. And I will also be making deals where people can get their sun and their moon, their sun, their moon, and their rising. And if you don't know what all of them are, you can always just send me, when you order, your birthday, your time of birth, and place of birth, and I can figure it out for you. And that's about all I have for you today. If you have any questions regarding moon signs that I may not have answered due to my current state, or just that you want to know more, comment below, message me. You know the drill. Also, like I said, next week will be about rising signs. So thank you for bearing with me while I'm pretty out of it. And please try and do some type of ritual or law of attraction or whatever it is that you follow on the new moon and full moon of your moon sign. And look into your moon sign because it's pretty damn important right now. Okay, so love you all. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye.